on verse number 6 and the commentary by His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. So before we read, I would like to see what verse number 4 described pitfalls of devotional practice, obstacles. Anybody remember? Verse number 4 described 4 impediments for advancement in spiritual life. Who remember? And verse number 5 described the 6 obstacles. And on the 6th, it described 2 obstacles. Nobody remember?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Do not associate with non-devotees.
Hmm.
No Gramya Katha.
Hmm.
Do not seeking for liberation.
Mm-hmm.
And Vishnu and do not live in Golok. Sorry, I do not remember third 4 1.
Yeah. Don't aspire for the Vaikuntha. That's the 4th one. Because in Vaikuntha, it's honor and reverence. You can't freely exchange the love with Krishna, restricted. So these are the 4 pitfalls. What are the 6 obstacles described in Manaha 6 and text number 5? Who remember? Nobody remember? 6 obstacles. Great enemy of the soul. Lust,
Prabhuji, bolo.
greed, illusion, madness, and envy. These are the obstacles described in text number 5. And what is the text 6? 2 main obstacles. Or maybe we can say 3. Deceitfulness, hypocrisy, and pride. Pride is the root cause of everything but this. We should remember, because otherwise what is the use of reading the book if you don't remember pitfalls? So, Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj will be giving us a practical application how to absorb our mind. So listen very attentively. I will ask sometime again. Prabhupada point out that this is samadhi. I give the formula that if you can, on single small pin type of location you select, if you can concentrate for 12 seconds without any deviation, full concentration on single object for 12 seconds is called dhyana, dharana. Then you multiply 12 seconds by 12, which is 2 minutes and 28 seconds or something like that, or 2 minutes 24 seconds. You can 144 seconds. That's called dhyana. And if you multiply that 144 seconds by 12, which comes to 28 minutes and 48 seconds, that's called samadhi. That's full concentration on one single point object. That's what Prabhupada is talking about. Prabhupada point out that this is samadhi, to absorb the mind in these pastimes and these topics. And Prabhupada's slogan was, work now, samadhi later. The purport being that if we try to go to Vrindavan and imitate Raghunath Das Goswami, it will not turn out right because we are not fit to do that. Quote, now I will get a little cottage and I will meditate day and night on the divine loving pastimes of Radha Madhava. Unquote. Srila Rupa Goswami in Updesha Amrita says that one should spend day and night by the side of Radha Kund in one's spiritual body, serving Radha and Krishna. These instructions for those on the platform of Visuddhasattva, on the platform of pure consciousness, one can be absorbed in this way. But if one is still infected by anarthas, by contamination in the heart, and at the same time want to imitate this process of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, then the attempt will be a failure because one has not yet reached that platform. Prabhupada gave the example of one devotee who went to Mayapur back in the days when Mayapur was all fields. He built himself a hut and he was out there in the field in his hut chanting 64 rounds a day. But after 3 or 4 days, he was gone and no one ever saw him again because that was not the platform on which he was situated. Guru Das tells the story of the first time he went to Vrindavan. He was traveling from Delhi to Vrindavan in a car with Prabhupada, Krishna's pure devotee, anticipating reaching Vrindavan and wondering what Prabhupada must be thinking about. But Prabhupada wasn't speaking. Finally, after an hour and a half of driving, Prabhupada said, quote, cement, we have to get cement, unquote. Prabhupada was thinking of service. Quote, we have to build the temple. We have to spread Krishna consciousness to Western boys and girls. They need a place to come, unquote, and so on. Whatever Prabhupada's conception was, and to do that, he needed cement, practical. In Nectar of Instructions, Prabhupada says, quote, Krishna consciousness is not a matter of imaginative society, imaginative ecstasy. One wants to catapult himself into Vrindavan by imagining, picturing oneself there. You play a role and then you are there. Prabhupada said that's not what it is. Quote, it's not imaginative ecstasy, unquote. What does he say it? Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Practical activities in the service of the Lord, even in Vrindavan. Yasodama is an ecstasy, but it's not that she's thinking, quote, what do I have to do be in ecstasy, unquote, or, quote, let me absorb myself in ecstasy, unquote. She's thinking of how to get the butter together what to cook for Krishna. She's wondering if he is getting into trouble with the monkeys. She's thinking about practical activities for the service of the Lord. And in that mood, she is naturally in ecstasy. But she is not thinking, quote, you know, I should be in ecstasy because this is Vrindavan, and after all, Krishna is my son, unquote. In all of Vrindavan, everyone is thinking what they are thinking. What can I do to please Krishna? Practical activities. They are holding a meeting, discussing, quote, too many demons are coming. I think we have to move. It's not safe for the children here, unquote. Practical. That's Krishna consciousness, not imaginative ecstasy and not dry speculation, but serving. We have to show the order of the spiritual master with dedication. Therefore, Prabhupada said, quote, work now, unquote. The spiritual master wants me to do something. How can I do it? Prabhupada was thinking, quote, I got this order. I have to spread Krishna consciousness in English. How do I do that? How do I do that? Unquote. It's not that a neophyte devotee thinks, quote, how do I get the practical business done? Unquote. Whereas the advanced devotee thinks, quote, how can I relish these topics of Lila? Unquote. Rather, the advanced devotee thinks, quote, how can I carry out the order of my spiritual master? How do I please my Guru and Gauranga by service, by practical activities? The two songs Prabhupada wrote on the Jaladuta are very instructive. In this song, Prabhupada is thinking about the charge that has been given to him. Faith devotees or less advanced devotees think about how they are going to get a charge, how to get ecstasy. But we follow the Goswamis by following the follower of the Goswamis and serving them. In due time, that stage will come in which one becomes absorbed in thought of Krishna and qualified to think of and appreciate these things, but without material contamination. Otherwise, Prabhupada said, quote, they will think of this thing and they will simply think of sex, unquote. So therefore, Visaya chadiya kabe shuddha habe mana. When will I give up the spirit of sense gratification so that my mind will become pure? Shuddha habe mana. Jayadatta Swami Maharaj is continuing. We will dwell tomorrow. Now we will dwell in the life of Srila Prabhupada. We are on volume number 3. Chapter title is Our Master Has Not Finished His Work Yet. I think I'll read one paragraph to bring up the, but that's a long one. Now, this is in the incidents in the hospital when Prabhupada was in the hospital. One nurse brought in a bed on wheels. Prabhupada said he wanted Garg Muni to push it. Prabhupada don't trust no one. He then sat on it cross-legged and put his hand in his bid bag. And Garg Muni, following the nurse, wheeled him out the door, down the hall, and onto the elevator. They went down to the third floor and entered a room. The nurse left them alone. Gargamuni could sense Prabhupada's uneasiness. He was also nervous. It was such an unlikely place for him to be with his spiritual master. Then a different nurse entered with a needle. Time to give the Swami a little injunction. 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 No, Prabhupada shook his head. I'm sorry, Gargamuni said flatly. We are not going to do it. Unquote. That's where we left yesterday. So we continue. The nurse was exasperated but smiled. Good. What did she say? It won't hurt you, Swamiji. What Prabhupada's response was, take me back. Prabhupada ordered Gargmuni when the nurse insisted. Gargmuni acted rashly, his usual tendency, and stepped between the nurse and Srila Prabhupada. Quote, I'm ready to fight if I have to, unquote, Gargamuni thought. Quote, I won't let you do it, he said, and wheeled the bed out of the room, leaving the nurse behind. Gargmuni was lost. He was somewhere on the third or fourth floor, faced with corridor and doors. And Prabhupada's room was on the sixth floor. Unsure where he was going, Gargmuni wheeled through the corridors with Prabhupada sitting cross-legged, chanting on his beds. Brahmananda arrived at the X-ray lab seconds after Gargmuni escaped. The nurse and the intern complained to him about what had happened. So Brahmananda is explaining in his own word that scene. They considered this a theft. Swamiji was their property. As long as he was in the hospital, he was theirs to do whatever they pleased with. And Gargamuni had stolen Swamiji away from them. Gargmuni got to the elevator. He had difficulty maneuvering the bed and his head bumped into the wall. He forgot what floor Swamiji was on. He only knew that he was protecting Swamiji, who wanted to be taken away. When Gargamuni finally reached Prabhupada's room, number 607, an intern was there and spoke angrily. Quote, I don't care, unquote, Gargmuni said. Quote, he doesn't want any more needles or taste. We want to live, unquote. Brahmananda arrived, calmed his younger brother, and helped Prabhupada back into the bed. Prabhupada said he wanted to live. When the doctor came in, Prabhupada sat up and spoke decisively. Quote, Doctor, I'm all right. I can go, unquote. And he shook the doctor's hand to show him he was hale and hearty. The doctor chuckled. He said that although Swamiji was getting stronger, he would have to stay a few more days. He was by no means out of danger yet. He requested careful medical surveillance. They needed to run another electroencephalogram. I'm not good on medical terms, and I don't want to know those things. Srila Prabhupada still had pains around his heart, but he told the doctor his body had a place for him to rest by the seaside. This was very good, the doctor said, but he couldn't let his patient go just yet. It was happened not the last visit to India, but prior to that, my brother's son, I think that they were eating with the friend circle. Like, in India, they have a lot of cart and they make pakoras and all that, pav bhajis and all. So he must have eat something which is not good for his stomach. So he was vomiting and all that. And his wife came from filthy rich family. So she said, no, we have to take him to the hospital right away. So they take him to the hospital. They keep him for 3, 4 days. And then when I came to know, I said, let me go and visit him. So when I saw him, I said, what's wrong with you? You eat something that was not good for your body. You threw it out. And that's it. You are okay. Why you have to lie down in the hospital bed? And then he said they want to run some tests they don't want to release. And you won't believe, I have to play a role. I was really angry with the staff. I said, I want to talk to the administrator. And then I just found that excuse that his father is really sick at his home. Before he leave this world, he want to see his son. Please release him. And they asked me to sign all kind of paper that you are taking responsibility. I said, yes. So I signed all this paper. When we come home, then I told his wife that, don't expect that, the medical treatment will cure everything. We have to know our body, what is happening, and we should be vigilant. We should be careful what we eat. Then a lot of the problem can be solved. So this is what it happened at the hospital. Even though somebody doesn't have any blockage, they will do bypass. I have heard so many times. So be careful when you hand it over your body. I don't trust them. So where we were. Srila Prabhupada still had pain around his heart, but he told the doctor his wife has a place for him to rest by the seaside. And this was very good. The doctor said, but he couldn't let his patient go just yet. That's where we stopped. But Prabhupada had made up his mind. Brahmananda and Garg Muni arranged for a rental car. They gathered Prabhupada's thing and helped him dress. As they escorted him out of his room, and the hospital staff saw that the boys were actually taking the old man away. Some of the doctors and nurses tried to stop them. Brahmananda told them not to worry. Swamiji was very dear to them, and they would take good care of him. He would get regular massages and plenty of rest, and they would get him whatever medicines the doctor prescribed. After a rest by the seaside, he could come back for checkup. Massage is so important actually. When I was learning the massage from His Holiness Giridhari Swami Maharaj, he was telling me, Shyam Sundar, if you get a regular massage, no sickness can enter in your body. That's what he told me. So I learned massage. And then we read, this is a wonderful service that I was able to perform to so many sannyasis and Prabhus, like Ravindra Swarup Prabhu and Vaisasika Prabhu. I was able to massage them. So Brahmananda is explaining this scene in his own word as follows. Then the doctors became fed up. They threaten us. This man is going to die. That's what they were telling me about my brother's son. If you take it, he's gonna die. I said, that's okay. They really scared us. That's the business they are in. They said, this man is going to die and it is going to be your fault, unquote. Even as we left, they said, quote, this man is condemned to death, unquote. It was horrible. At 10 a.m. on June 8, left the hospital. Prabhupada wanted to stop briefly at the temple at 26 Second Avenue before going to the house in Long Branch. Entering the storefront, walking shakily, he came before the portrait of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and his spiritual master's father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. For the first time, Prabhupada disciples saw him offer fully prostrated obeisances, as he prostrated himself before his Guru Maharaj. His disciple also paid obeisances and felt their devotion increase. When Prabhupada arrived at his cottage in Long Branch at 1 o'clock, he had Kirtananda immediately begin cooking lunch. It would be Prabhupada's first regular hot meal, rice, dal, chapati, sabji, since his stroke 9 days ago. Haribol. I remember my brain hemorrhage in 2009. What a wonderful time was. Nothing to do, lie down in the bed and listen to bhajans, classes, and speak to the devotees what I have heard. Because you can't sleep, a lot of pain. Haribol. Prabhupada went to bed, but soon got up and came into the kitchen asking, is it ready? Kirtananda made a few excuses and said he would hurry. After a few minutes, Prabhupada returned. He seemed furious. Why are you taking so long, Haribol? Kirtananda moved as quickly as he could, but he couldn't make the dal boil any faster. Quote, whatever you have, unquote, Prabhupada said, let me eat it. I don't care if it's raw. Kirtananda served lunch, and Prabhupada ate with the relish of a person in good health. Kirtananda telephoned his pal Hayagriva in San Francisco. Quote, he ate like anything. It was wonderful to see, unquote. The small one-story cottage was situated in a quiet suburb, a short walk from the beach. The backyard was enclosed by trees and scrubs, and the neighborhood bloomed with fragrant roses. Haribol. I have so many nice roses is blooming in my yard. Other day the devotee came in, he said, Prabhu, we took the plant from your house. It's blooming over here, but it's not blooming over there. I said the plant needs that love and care. What can I say? But the weather was often blustery and the sky grey. Prabhupada spoke of returning to India to recuperate. In Delhi, Sri Krishna Pandit had refused Prabhupada's urgent request for Ayurvedic medicine. Quote, you are in such a long place. If the medicine gives some bad reaction, then how to arrange for the good? Unquote. Prabhupada had written back asking if an Ayurvedic physician could be sent to America. But the proposal seems impractical. It would be better for Prabhupada to go to India. He received Swami Narayan Maharaj's reply that since no Ayurvedic doctor would go to America, Swamiji should come and be treated in Calcutta. Narayan Maharaj also enclosed a letter to Prabhupada's secretary, Rai Ram. Quote, there is no need for anxiety. Always utter Harinam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Near his ears, God will do for the best. Haribol. Unquote. Srila Prabhupada talked of going to India not only for his health. He told Kirtananda and Gaurasundar he wanted to start in Vrindavan an American house, a place where his American disciple could learn Vedic culture to help them preach all over the world. He also said he wanted to make some of his disciples, Kirtananda, Brahmananda, Hayagriva, into sannyasis, and he would do that also in India. His real work, however, was in America. If he could just regain his health, but where was the sunshine? Govinda Dasi had cherished the desire to serve Swamiji personally ever since he had first met him in San Francisco. She saw that he was selfless and his love for his disciple was unlike anything she had ever known before. She didn't mention her cherished desire to anyone, even to Gaurasundar, her husband. But now Krishna was fulfilling her desire by allowing her and Gaurasundar to come to New Jersey to serve Swamiji. To the devotees in New York, having a married couple take care of Swamiji seemed the best arrangement. And Govinda Dasi and Gaurasundar had been available. These were external reasons, but Govinda Dasi understood that Krishna was fulfilling her desire. As we were reading today, or I was talking, that if we have a sincere desire, Krishna always fulfill. Lacking side is our side, that we don't remain steadfast. That's the problem. Example of the kettle. We warm up and turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. How that water will get boiled. That's our precarious situation in this material world. We have to beg the mercy of those who have attained the stage of steadiness, steadfastness in their devotion. And with their blessings, it can become possible. So with those thoughts, we should end our session. And before the devotees can leave, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of their lotus feet, because they are trying their hard to come and support all of us in our journey. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindubhaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.